Hey guys, I'm back with another video for you guys, but before we get into anything, I do want to apologize for basically my disappearance. I don't know, to those of you who don't know, I do work. I pretty much work 5 days a week, anywhere between 30 and 40 hours. So it's kind of difficult, I don't really have much time to play, and recently they've been having me close, so I've been, I don't get home till midnight, and by that time comes around, I'm exhausted, and so I just go straight to bed. But luckily today was my day off, and I went ahead and figured, why not make the video of a lifetime when patch 5.0.4 came out today, you guys. That is right. We are talking about the talent changes, spell changes, stat changes, everything. Other than being able to play a monk, other than being able to play as a panda bear, and other than being able to test out any of the newer content, like anything from 85 to 90, none of that stuff has been released because obviously Mr. Pandaria isn't out, but all the talents and all that kind of stuff have been. So, all today just has been everyone been testing things out, playing around with everything. But since I played the beta, I kind of knew how things worked. So for me, I basically set things up and went right in. I didn't really have to do anything other than that because I knew what I was doing. So the only disappointment today was the fact that this took forever to launch. I live on the East Coast of the United States, and the Blizzard people are, I believe, on the West Coast. So we're talking California. I live in Maryland, So you can kind of... The time difference is weird. To them, they were expecting the service to be up and running by 1 o'clock. Or, 11 o'clock Pacific time. That's 1 o'clock my time. Or, 2 o'clock my time. It ended up not coming up until, I think it was 6 o'clock my time. Or, yeah, about 6 o'clock my time. So, every hour I was checking it, because they did hourly updates. Every day I was checking, I was like, come on, Blizzard, come on, release it. And it has been released. It is amazing. You guys are going to be able to experience some epic footage of basically us farming the crap out of the Horde. Keep in mind that a lot of the Horde that I was killing were pretty under-geared, due to the fact that a lot of them were in PvE gear. They figured, oh, let's just come in and farm honor because that's how you can get the new PvP gear. Yes, but I don't think they understood the fact that with when people are in PvE gear and people who are in PvP gear, and we're talking, PvP resilience as well as PvP power, you're going to get hit a lot harder if you're in PvE gear. That's the big difference. Yes, Blizzard implemented, what was it? It was like a 50% or 60% natural damage reduction. I understand that. But at the same time, you're still going to get hit hard if you don't have any PvP resilience. So that's what a lot you're going to see. It's basically going to be the same, like 6 people. We ended up taking farm from them and just holding farm down and just raping through them. I don't know if at the very end we five capped them or not, but all I know is that this game was fun. Now, there are a couple things I do want to go over as a fire mage, or as a mage in general. Now, I know that I also did a video much like this a couple videos back, basically going over the changes for mages during Mr. Pandaria. But this is, you can see a little bit into action, and there are a couple of things I do want to go over. First up, to those of you who are PvE fire mages, keep in mind your lack of AoE. We no longer have Blast Wave, so when it comes to PvE, even I know it, Blast Wave was a great CC because it definitely slowed them down enough that we could get up there and Frost Nova them, etc. Well, we are no longer able to do that. Quite disappointing, I know, but they removed Blast Wave from basically our rotation, just from the game. I don't know why, but they did. So, our prime skills, depending on whether you're PvE or PvP. If you're PvP, I would recommend going Scorch under your talents, due to the fact that you just don't have enough time to hard cast Fireball. You need to keep moving, otherwise you're going to get demolished. So, we have Scorch, Living Bomb, Inferno Blast, Pyroblast, and then Combustion and Dragon's Breath. Now, Inferno Blast is basically, it replaces Fire Blast. The only difference is that Inferno Blast is an instant crit. So, as you guys can see around my character, every time I get one critical strike, you see the mini hot streak design. This is letting you know that you are one crit, you've gotten one out of the 2 critical strikes needed to get that instant Pyroblast. Now what I've learned basically is that I wait for that mini that mini hot streak design to pop up before I throw up Fire Blast, because Inferno Blast is a it's an instant crit. So it's great for, if you just want to get that instant Pyroblast. It's a great way. That's the way I've learned to, handle it. So, obviously everyone's going to have their own technique and their own design, rotations, yada, yada, yada. But that's how I've learned to, is just use it for, right now, as you can see, I do have the mini hot streak. I would save it for something like that. Now it only lasts, I believe it's 15 seconds, if that. It might only be like 10 seconds. So you want to make sure you're timing it properly. Another big thing that is great as mages is that mages now have Shatter, which is as any mage. So even if you want to roll Arcane in PvP, you can do that, and Shatter still affects. Now, to those of you who don't know, Shatter it was originally a talent that you had to spec into in Cataclysm that made it so that when you Frost Nova someone, or someone was frozen in place, it increased your critical strike chance. In PvE, it wasn't real necessary, but in PvP, pretty much all mages rolled that way. It was pretty much guaranteed as a Frost Mage, and as a Fire Mage, hopefully you were smart enough to get it. But now it is a passive ability for us. So having that additional, probably 100 crit chance is something you just can't pass up. You want to Nova people as much as possible. Now keep that in mind, that mages also have Deep Freeze. Now Deep Freeze was originally only for Frost Mages, but they decided to give it to all mages. Is this OP? Yes, very OP, especially with that Shatter talent, or Shatter passive. Because if you can get someone into a Nova, and then get someone into a Deep Freeze, and apply all of your dots, and apply all of your damage, you can, hopefully, if you're lucky, get them down far enough that you might be able to finish them off. That is, but you got to keep in mind that sometimes, if they're smart enough, they might actually trinket. So, and if they trinket, just keep up with your rotation. As a mage, they'll blink. Now, as you'll see that I did with these mages, is that I made sure not to shatter, not to deep freeze them until after they blinked. There were a couple times where I did it before, but if you do get deep freezed, you can go into a blink as a mage, and that'll get you out of it. Because if you are a mage, you do not want to get shattered, because it does hit pretty hard. Not as hard as it used to, due to the fact of all the whole PvP resilience, the whole PvP power, etc. But you still do get pretty hard. Basically, on the PvP geared players, I'm hitting them for about 30k. But on the one, I think it's a DK, the Orc DK, he was wearing PvE gear. That's why I was able to hit him for 60k, because he didn't have any PvP resilience. This one right here, you'll see. I'll crit the crap out of him, because he doesn't have any PvP resilience, and that means that I'll hit harder. I think that was the whole effect with it, because PvP power increases your damage done to players. And it also increases your healing done. So as a healer, I think PvP power is effective too. It just increases the amount that you heal. So those are pretty much the basic changes that when it comes for mages, but I think the one thing that I like most, at least right now, before Mist of Pandaria actually comes out, is that I pretty much never run out of mana. My mana is pretty much topped off at all times, so I don't have to worry about evocating or anything like that. The only time I evocate is when I'm low on health. So, it's pretty nice. Basically the base mana for level 85 is 100k. So, you'll see. I might go down to like 90% or even 95%, and then I'll just get right back up. So it's effective, and I love it. I had a great time in this video. and I figured that it would be a great way to start up with my new footage for you guys. I promise I'm gonna start getting more footage out for you. I gotta get into it. I really do. I gotta just kind of push myself. Next video, I'm hoping that I'm gonna get a couple of buddies to join up with me, and we are gonna own it up. Now, I do have a question to those of you who have done dual commentaries before. What is the most effective way to execute this? Because I know that just it'll naturally record the sound of the people I'm talking to, but I want it to record my sound. Now, what I've learned is that if I have Fraps record my sound, it actually basically causes an echo, and I don't want that. I want it to be just like it sounds now. I want it to be my voice with them, you know, responding back and forth. Should I use Audacity for this while I'm talking to them, like record my audio, or what should I do? If anyone knows, please let me know. That would be wonderful, because I do want to get a couple of dual commentaries up with my buddy Max. I think that would be a lot of fun. He's a Ret Paladin. You know, he's probably on right now learning. I don't know. But I definitely would like someone to help me out if they can. That would be wonderful. Just give me a couple of tips. You know, that's all I'm asking for. So, that pretty much sums it up. What else should I talk about? I don't know. Oh, one thing I have learned is that rogues suck. Like, just they suck. I had so many people complaining. I logged in and I had a bunch of people saying, "What class should I reroll rogue or other than a rogue because rogues suck." Now, I haven't followed up on rogues, but I do hear that they did get a big nerf. And if that's the case, good, because I hate rogues. No offense, of course. You know, I don't want to offend anyone or anything, but I've always hated rogues. They're annoying. As a mage, they're annoying. So, I don't know. Now, the one class that did get a buff, which I actually didn't have to deal with, was Warlocks. I am happy I did not have to deal with a Warlock this evening, because that probably would have been hell. I do not like Warlocks in Mists of Pandaria. They are annoying as shit. But, I guess that pretty much sums it up, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed seeing all that action of me owning it up with some, you know, some just random players. We were face raping and raffle stomping and curb stomping these fuckers into the ground. Oh, one last thing. My mount. I don't know if you guys have noticed it, but it is the collector's edition of Mists of Pandaria. I did spend, what was it, 80 bucks? And I have the little pet, but the little pet's not out right now. I love it. It's cool. It's amazing. But, yeah, that's pretty much sums it up, you guys. So, hopefully, you know, if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, favorites it, subscribe for more footage. If you guys have any requests, any comments, please leave them in the comments below. I'd love to hear your feedback. So, I will catch y'all next time with some more footage. Later.